My name is Nick Dole. I am a Christian. It does. I don't know. We take our teaching from like Jesus' like teaching, and he doesn't like say we have to do any of that stuff. We just meet in His name, and I don't know, like educate ourselves from the Bible. Don't have to do all these crazy rituals. Get down on one knee and like.
So, how long have you been a Christian?
I grew up with a Christian family, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're a Christian at all. Becoming a Christian is a dedicated choice that you have to make, and I made that choice about 4 weeks ago now.
What would you say you were before then?
Before then, I was a sinner. I was a person who I knew what the truth was, but just couldn't make the decision to try and follow it. So.
Oi, sit down. Sit.
You talked before about making the dedication 4 weeks ago. Why?
Yeah.
What was the choice? Like, what sparked it?
Well, basically, I've grown up as with a Christian family, so I've always been taught these things, and in no means has that affected my life to the point of not being a sinner. Like, of course, it has opened me up to like these truths and stuff. So I've been able to see all of throughout my life, and I'm grateful for it. Being able to see and be taught going to church and stuff like that, but it never actually dictated me being a Christian. The biggest thing for me was, it's hard to explain, but it's like an exterior force was like pressuring me constantly. It wasn't what I'd been taught. It wasn't just my own mind going crazy. I literally had what I feel is like a pressure from God telling me to hurry up and make the dedication, because I'm not sure. I mean, if you look at the world these days, it's kind of getting pretty crazy. Bad things are happening and stuff, and I feel like I have to be prepared for what's to come in the future. And yeah, I feel like I have a big calling in my life.
God is calling America. America is endangered by these harbingers. It's a warning. It's to save the nation, but it is.
I was just sick of living with sin, to be honest.
Yeah.
The heavy weight of sin.
So it's like a built-up thing, not just like
It's a huge build-up of over like my entire life, but also mainly the last 3 years. Yeah, I was just sick of living with the heavy weight of sin and feeling ashamed of it. I don't know, it's just an inner feeling of being ashamed of what I do every single day, and it wasn't right. And only recently, as becoming a Christian, have I been able to turn away from that. I honestly, literally thought I was in a point where I would never be able to stop what I was doing, stop the sin that I was committing, mainly an addiction, and I didn't feel like I had the strength to actually kick it, and I was pretty scared that I would be stuck in this pattern for the rest of my life.
When Jesus was put to death, he was whipped 39 times, and usually 40 times is considered you'd die if you got hit 40 times. And not only that, but before and after this beating here, or the whipping, he was beat constantly by the guards and stuff.
What's the most important thing about Christianity then?
Most important thing is...
Like the paramount thing.
Paramount thing, there's two paramount things really, is loving your God with all your heart, mind, body and soul, and then loving your neighbours, which is everybody in the world, as you love yourself. And underneath all of that, then everything falls into place, like all the other 10 commandments and all the other 8 commandments, and if you can do that, then you're serving God's kingdom. And pretty much the goal of a Christian is to glorify and to fulfill God's kingdom, and to expand His kingdom here on earth, because it's obviously being oppressed by something, and because I believe it's the truth, it's my duty to spread it to as many people as I can, so that those people can also be enlightened to the truth that I know.
I like this song.
Is it Hillsong?
That's Parachute Man. It's called Living Rain.
No, there's plenty to struggle with as being a Christian. Obviously, it's a discriminated thing in today's society. We're constantly bombarded with stuff every single day that is against it and is trying to pull you away from the kingdom of God. Because if there is a kingdom of God, then if the Bible's correct, then there is a kingdom of darkness, and that kingdom of darkness is doing everything it can to try and take you away from the kingdom of God, because they are already condemned to hell, so they want to take as many people away from God as possible. So yes, every single day I'm challenged with everything that is not the kingdom of God. So I don't know, things like media and like games and TV and all that kind of stuff that's distracting, stuff that is taking away from who you are, like as a person of God.
Did like Ben, you go through it before Nick, and then
No, not really. Actually, it was the other way around. Because Nick I don't know, he had more of a pulling towards it than I did. Because I'd just be all distracted all the time with other stuff and didn't really want to put a big focus on it. Then Nick kind of got into it more seriously, and then that kind of got me wanting to get into it a bit more as well, because I saw a big change in him, and I was like, well, that's pretty crazy. What's going on there? And then I just investigated it some more, and it's just, it's crazy.
Our church is so like not like that.
So like the
Completely
preacher
one.
would be like, go to page something and repeat the prayer, and then everyone starts saying it.
Really? Yeah, church isn't like that. There's no like set rules. You just go there and listen to the guy.
And like at certain
Preach.
times, like people know when to say certain things. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't know.
Like a huge weight's being lifted off my life, and like Jesus literally teaches that if you accept him into your life, you're not just like converted, you are literally born again spiritually, and so your old self dies and you become a new spirit, a new person in his name and in his word, and from my experience that's true.